another vlog on my Thailand trip. So this will basically be you can say this is the first vlog or this is the final vlog of my Thailand trip. The reason being is this video is going to be on the budget. Okay, now budget is something that you should keep planning before you start your trip. But the reason I'm doing this video at the end of the trip is because so that you can get an overview of all the expenses that you can incur when you are in Thailand. Okay. I will try to cover everything from scratch, right from your visa, flight and hotel bookings till your entry, SIM cards, all the commute, all the food expenses. So I have listed down my budget in this notepad. The trip was for 5 nights and 6 days, and I was there with my cousin. So we split the expenses. So that was a little cheaper compared to my Sri Lanka trip, which was a solo trip. So let me tell you about the flight first. Okay. So as you know, flight will basically depend on from where you are traveling to Bangkok. If you're traveling from Delhi or Mumbai or Kolkata, you will get cheaper rates. If you're traveling from maybe let's say Bhopal, okay, if you're traveling from let's say Amritsar, then it will be expensive because you have to fly to Delhi or Mumbai, and from there you will be getting another flight. I flew from Kolkata to Bangkok. It was a direct flight by SpiceJet, and my total fare came to 17,353 rupees. This is including taxes and discounts and everything. This is what I paid. Okay, this is for a round-way trip, by the way. Now, if you are booking the flights in advance, a round-way trip can cost you something around 15,000-16,000 rupees. If you're booking it 2 to 3 months in advance, I booked just a month in advance, so it cost around 17,000 rupees. But I went there during off season. It was rainy season over there. Thankfully, it did not rain. It was rainy season, so the prices were a little cheaper as well. If you go during October, November, December, January, when the actual season is, flight fares can cost you around 25 to 30,000 rupees as well if you do not book it in advance. So my flight cost 17,300 rupees. After flight, you need to book the hotels. Okay, you have to have hotel bookings for at least the first 3 nights. But it is advisable that you should book a hotel at least on all the days of your stay, because see, from India, your immigration officer might consider the first 3 days of booking. Suppose you are there for 7 days and you have hotel bookings for just 3 days. Okay, so your immigration officer in India might allow you, but in Bangkok they may not allow you. Okay, they might deport you as well. So it is best that you should have the hotel booking for each day of your stay while you are in Thailand, be it Bangkok or Phuket or Krabi or Pattaya, wherever you are, but have a overnight booking at every place that you visit. Alright. So hotel expenses for me, we stayed at a 4-star hotel in Pattaya as well as in Bangkok. Okay, so the hotel that we stayed in, Pattaya hotel cost me 10,163 rupees. This is for 3 nights for 2 people. Okay, this comes to 3,400 rupees, and these rates are Indian rupees, by the way. Okay, so 3,400 rupees per night, including breakfast for 2 people in Pattaya. And in Bangkok, it cost us 7,173 rupees for 2 nights, including breakfast. So that comes around 3,600 rupees per night in Bangkok. Now, this hotel rates are for 4-star hotel. If you're planning to stay at a 5-star hotel, it might increase up to 5,000 rupees per night. But if you're planning to stay in a 3-star hotel, it might be around 2,500 rupees per night. So it depends on the category of hotel that you stay. But for us, the total came to 17,336 rupees for 2 people for 5 nights of stay, including breakfast. Okay. Now coming to the visa. Now there are 3 ways how you can apply for a visa for Thailand. I have covered the visa formalities in a different video, so I won't be covering details on how to get a visa. Simple thing, if you apply for a visa beforehand, which is for the sticker visa, it costs you 3,300 rupees, 3,310 basically, including the courier charges. and if you apply for the visa on arrival, it costs you 5,500 rupees. uh, it basically depends on the currency exchange rates, but it costs around 5,500 rupees. We got a sleeper visa, so ours was 3,310 rupees. So this was about your flight, visa, and hotel expenses, and all the expenses that you will be incurring before you land in Thailand. Now, getting around in Thailand is pretty cheap. Yeah, if you go for uh, luxury cabs, that's different. But if you go over there, Ola and Uber doesn't exist, so we use Bolt and Grab. I found Bolt cheaper than Grab, so I usually prefer Bolt. But you can also get tuk-tuks, that is also affordable. If you try to get a cab directly, okay, it might be a little expensive, so I would suggest go for the app-based cabs. That will be a little cheaper for you. Public transport doesn't exist in Pattaya, to be honest. We have something called Bath bus. Okay, apart from that, public transport doesn't exist. In Bangkok, public transport is there, but frequency, I didn't find the frequency to be great, so I wouldn't recommend you to depend on public transport. Yeah, metro exists, but buses and all those, it's not in, it is not in as much frequency as you would want, or compared to India, it's not that good. So I wouldn't recommend depending on public transport. Now for us, for the commute, including Pattaya, Bangkok, airport transfers, sightseeing transfers, and everything, our total came to 6,746 rupees. This is in all the airport expenses, sorry, airport transfers, the transfer from hotel to another hotel, the transfers between the sightseeing, including parking fees, toll fees, all including 6746. This is for 5 days. Okay. Coming to food now, food is not very expensive if you know where to buy. Now, if you go at an Indian restaurant, that is super expensive. The Indian restaurants are super expensive. So, if you're someone who cannot live without Indian food, you're gonna hole in your pocket. But if you're someone who can adjust anywhere and they want to try the local cuisines, so then food will be quite cheap. So we actually had we were actually trying the local cuisines. We visited the night markets. Night markets are heaven for street food lovers. So if you are a foodie, do visit the night markets. The food is very cheap, and you will get a lot of varieties over there. And there's also something called 7-Eleven that I have shared in one of my previous videos. So do check out my previous videos and you'll get a lot of information over there. So 7-Eleven is actually a lifesaver. The prices are very cheap and the food is quite delicious. Since they provide microwave food, so I wouldn't recommend eating from a 7-Eleven every day for each meal. Once in a while, it's okay. We did the same, and our food expenses came to 11,940 rupees for 2 people for 5 days, which means breakfast was included, but we had lunch, snacks, and dinner. So 3 meals for 2 people 5 times. You can multiply that comes to 30 meals, and that cost us 11,940, a little less than 12,000 rupees. So food expense was pretty cheap, but again, we did not go to those Indian restaurants because that's super expensive, and we already eat Indian food back in India. So I personally don't find the point in trying out Indian food going to a foreign land. But yeah, I understand some people have that thing. So be ready to spend some more. 12,000 might go to something around 30 to 40,000 rupees, to be honest. If you depend on Indian food, the cost a dosa. Okay, I'll give you an example. A dosa costs in Indian rupees, it was costing around 500 to 600 rupees. So basically, the prices are similar to a 5-star hotel. In 500 to 600 rupees, you can get an entire meal for 2 people for for one course. So, anyway, entry tickets. Now this is where things get expensive. Each place in Thailand has some or other entry fee levied on. Now the entry fees may be as cheap as 400 baht which is around 1000 rupees. That is the cheapest entry fee, to be honest. Okay, and the most expensive ones can go to around 900 to 1000 baht, which is like 2500 rupees just for entry fee for one person. So entry fees costs are really expensive. For us, it cost around 11,275 rupees for two people over the course of 5 days. So that's about entry tickets. Where if you want to know the entry ticket of any particular place, you can drop a comment and I'll surely reply. In my videos also, I have shared the entry ticket price for each and every place that I have visited. So you can check the entry tickets from there as well. One recommendation from my end would be to book via Klook app. If you book via Klook app, you will get a lot of discounts. So this price that I am telling you, this is after discounts. So if you do not go for the discounts, probably this 12,000 rupees can go up to 20,000 rupees. You're getting 30-40% on all the ticket prices over there, and every place is available on Klook. So if you want to save some money, just download that app, and you can have to pre-book the tickets. That's the thing. The ticket prices are non-refundable, if I am not wrong. So only if you're sure, book via Klook, and you have to book 1 day in advance. So it's not like you will go to that place and you will buy the ticket. So if you're going to some place tomorrow, book the tickets today. And you have to pay via credit card only, which has international transactions enabled. Okay. That's one thing that you need to look. But if that's not available, obviously you can buy the tickets from the counter. Just that you have to pay the normal price, which is without any discounts. So entry tickets was 11,275. Now SIM card depends on one provider to another provider. There are basically three major providers in Thailand. It was True 5G, it was AIS, and there was some other one. Okay, so I opted for True 5G. My plan was 15 GB for 8 days, and it cost 300 baht, which is something around 756 rupees. My cousin got from AIS. His one was 350 baht. So a little expensive, but to be honest, I found AIS coverage better than True 5G. So just for 50 baht, which is like 125 rupees extra, I would suggest go for AIS. And otherwise, True 5G is also good. It's not that it's bad. I found connectivity almost at every place. It's just that when I was inside a restaurant or inside a shopping mall, I didn't get internet facility. So that is the thing. And the plan rates, there are other plan rates that you can check if you need excess data. If you think that 15 GB is not sufficient for you, obviously you can go for the other plans. So that was all about the expenses. Now for the flight, visa and hotel that was shared by each person, total was 21,420 rupees. And for the food, commute and entry tickets, which was for beard by two people, that was 47,300 rupees. So basically, for each person, the entry ticket, commute and food came to 23,650, which means overall, including flight, visa, hotel, food, commute, entry tickets, SIM card. I hope I'm covering all the expenses, but if I am missing out on any, let me know and I'll add that. I'll edit this part of the video and I'll add that portion and I'll recalculate the expenses. But what I believe, this should be covering all the expenses except souvenirs. Okay, now the reason I did not include souvenirs is because I didn't want to give you a budget specific to my trip. I'm just giving you a idea of what kind of expenses you might incur. So because souvenir depends on person to person, you might buy souvenirs for 1,000 rupees, you might buy souvenirs for 10,000 rupees. So that doesn't give you a proper idea of the budget. So including souvenirs, but including flight, visa, hotel, food, commute, entry tickets, SIM cards, and certain kind of miscellaneous expenses like tips and all, total comes around 45,070 rupees per person, or mainly 45,000 rupees. This includes flight and everything from A to Z. Okay, this trip was for 5 nights and 6 days. I planned it myself. I did the research from various YouTube vloggers, various websites, various travel agencies to plan my itinerary, and that helped me to cut down my budget by a lot. Because I don't think within 45,000, no food agency would be giving you this kind of a deal, and we probably covered each and every place in Thailand. Each and every place in Bangkok and Pattaya. So, and we did not go via bus or something. We always booked AC vehicles. So, I paid 45,000 rupees for 5 days in Bangkok, which and Pattaya is pretty cheap. My Sri Lanka trip cost me 50,000 rupees, but then it could have been a little cheaper if I was sharing the cost with somebody else. This over here, it was 90,000 rupees basically. But since it was split between the two of us, it came to 45,000 rupees, excluding souvenirs. So this is all about the budget from my Thailand trip. I hope I have covered all the major expenses that you might expect, right from visa to SIM cards, entry tickets, commute, flights, hotels, and everything, and the different kinds of ranges that you might expect if you're trying to book a different category of hotel. Now, that's about it from this video. If you want me to share the price of any particular thing or the entry ticket of any particular place, or if you think that I might have missed out on something major expense, do let me know, and I'll try to add that. I'll try to share the same with you. And also request you to go through the other videos that I have. This should be the 12th video of the Thailand trip, so it has taken a lot of efforts, a lot of time to not only shoot the videos but compile, gather all the information and upload them. So it would be great if you can support the channel to grow, and that's all that I can ask in return for all the efforts that I have invested in making this vlog. That's for now. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I hope this video gives you a overall idea of the budget that you might expect to spend, and that's about it. Thanks for watching the video. Have a nice day.